Hello! Welcome to the Dice Guys boarding school. I'm Grant, your professor. Today's class is Rolling Heights 101. I'll go over the basic synopsis and an introduction to the rules to get you ready to play. Rolling Heights is the new game from AEG that's the mashup of Catan and Monopoly you didn't know you needed. It's the 1920s and you and your friends are building contractors. You will have to claim development plans, buy land, and motivate your workers to score the most points. There are 6 neighborhood tiles with A and B sides. The B sides have more land and are used for games with more players. Arrange the tiles in a 2x3 grid and place the scoreboard at one end. Next, align the market strips to the side of the map. This is the completed board, but there's still more to go. Organize the building plan tiles into 2 piles based on what level they are, shown on the back. Randomly place them down the sides of the market strips. Then, sort the resource cubes and meeples by color. The cubes correspond to the meeples, which we'll get to later. For a 4-player game, use all of the cubes. Take away 13 of each for a 3-player game, and 25 of each for a 2-player game. Also, put the wild resource tokens in this area. Shuffle the add card and place 3 randomly on the scoreboard. All players will either earn points or lose points for these at the end of the game. Shuffle the target tiles as well, and deal 2 to each player. Keep these hidden as their secret objectives for the end of the game. Last but not least, each player takes their color of ownership caps and score blocks, as well as 2 brown carpenter meeples and 2 dark blue construction worker meeples. Place the score blocks on 0 on the scoreboard, and you're ready to go. On the first turn, the starting player is randomly determined, and the game moves counterclockwise from them. Each player, in turn order, picks a level 1 building plan and places it somewhere on the map. Be mindful though, some spaces require a cost to claim, which you can't pay at the beginning. You also cannot place your start tile within 2 tiles of another player, except diagonally. Once this is done, slide the level 1 tiles down the market strip and add new ones from the pile. Every time someone buys a new plan, repeat this process. The core of Rolling Heights is about your meeple workers. The catch? Your workers aren't the best at what they do. To get them to work, you roll them like dice, earning resources based on how they're standing and what color they are. A meeple lying flat, or on its back, is exhausted, and you get no resources for it. A meeple on its side is working steady, and you get 1 resource for it. A meeple standing upright is working hard, and you get 2 resources of its type. If the meeple is against the side of the tray, re-roll it. A meeple atop another, somehow, is still legal, and counted as its condition. You can roll up to 10 meeples a turn, choosing which you want to roll each time. Remove all working meeples from your tray, and if you want to gamble, you can re-roll any exhausted meeples to get them to work again. If any are, you take them out and can either re-roll again or stay. Be careful though. If all of your meeples are exhausted, then they've gone on strike, and you return half, rounded down, of your working meeples to your pool, and you can't continue rolling. You do get a wild resource token as compensation, however. To simplify the game, it's recommended to roll all of your meeples during other players' turns. Once you have your working meeples, you can activate them for effects. Meeples are split into 2 types, resource and specialty. The resource meeples are brown, navy gray, clear, and blue, corresponding to wood, concrete, glass, and steel, respectively. You get 1 resource of their type for each one working steady, and 2 for each one working hard. Yellow meeples are the politicians, providing victory points, 1 for working steady, 2 for working hard. Magenta meeples are executives, giving you ephemeral spending power, 2 and 4 for their working type. Spending power can't be used to construct buildings, but it can be used to buy and place building plans. Spend this currency immediately. It won't last past your turn. Purple meeples are the public figures of Rolling Heights. They don't have intrinsic abilities, but some building plans have special powers you can use purple meeples on. Make sure to finish your buildings, as these powers can't be used in a half-finished project. Pink meeples are city planners, which have 2 effects. When working steady, they can be used to re-roll all exhausted meeples in your box. They can't go on strike in one of these re-rolls, so think of this as a free one. When working hard, you can take any 1 building plan in the market and place it anywhere, regardless of plan, land, or distance costs, which I'll cover soon. Lastly, the green meeples are public servants. They are used to upgrade the other meeples you've rolled this turn. A working steady green lets you upgrade one exhausted meeple into a working steady one, or a working steady one into a working hard one. A working hard green can turn any two working steady meeples into working hard ones, or a single exhausted meeple into a working hard one. There are a few limitations to this though. They can't work on other green meeples, you can't use them to activate a meeple more than once, and you can't use them on any meeples from your supply you didn't roll. Once you have all of your meeples sorted, you can move on to construction. Once during your turn, you can buy one new building plan. These cost resources denoted by the multicolored cubes on the side. These can be purchased with cubes of any type, or spending power if you have any. You can place it anywhere, but some sections have placement costs, payable with any color of resource or spending power. You can't save the plan for later though, so if you buy a plan, you have to place it. And if you can't place it anywhere, then you can't buy it. If you do place a plan, you can earn some extra victory points if its type matches the printed score. Once placed, add one of your ownership markers to the tile to claim it as yours, and you're ready to start building. Remember, slide down the building parts from the stack at the top, and place a wild token on the last two at the end. These can really stack up if not purchased, so look out for some extra value. Wild tokens are a lot like spending power, but can be traded into the supply for any cube. Extra tokens at the end of the game will also score you extra victory points. At any point of your turn, you can place cubes onto the corresponding plans. Once all stacks are completed, printed on both the face and side of the plan, cap it with your ownership marker. Then, you get any and all rewards. Extra meeples, purple meeple powers, and victory points are all possible. If a meeple reward has two colors, you pick which one you want. If you're running low on resources, remember you can always trade 2 of any cube for glass, concrete, or wood, and 3 of any cube for steel. While spending power cannot be used to construct buildings, it can be used in this commodity trade. At the end of your turn, return all unused cubes to the supply. They can't be saved for later turns. You lose any unspent spending power, but not wild tokens. Gather all your meeples, pass the turn, and start rolling again. Once all cubes of a particular type are gone, the game is over. Well, soon anyway. The orange cubes, set aside since the beginning, now fill in for the missing resource. Remember, these are not like wildcard resources. They just count as extras of what's out, and you must build with cubes of the correct type if you have any. Continue playing as normal until you reach the last player in turn order, then do one last set of turns. After this round, the game is officially over, and it's time to tally. Players will either gain or lose points based on the randomized add cards at the top, as well as score extra points from their secret target cards, of which they get to choose one. Add in any unused wild tokens, and keep track of any score over 50 with an ownership marker as a placeholder. The player with the most points wins. In case of a tie, the tied player with the most meeples wins, and if it's still tied, both tied players win. Thank you for joining me for the Dice Guys Boarding School. Remember to pick up your copy of Rolling Heights today at the Dice Guys game store or online at diceguys.com. See you soon!